Hello, my friends. Are you ready for a little more embodiment, looking at how our world is being led by people who are not embodied? When you look around to the people who are leading and governing and making the big decisions, and maybe this is just me, but to me, they just look like little kids who are totally immature, looking, hoping to be, successful and thinking they know better than us. It is a total circus out there. I know I'm being really upfront today. I'm just going to say it because when you start looking at it from maybe a little bit of a different angle, you go like, oh my God, how can people believe that these people up there will be able to make a difference? They're living down in the darkness in their own psyche. Many of them are drinking and doing drugs and lying and cheating. We all know it. It's come out a lot. These people are not connected to their divine. They're living outside of their bodies, where the truth of who they are and the guidance from within is very, very different than what they are presenting. They're living in their heads. They're trying to figure it out. And as you know, the head, the mind, the five sense mind is disconnected from our divinity, from our source connection, from the essence of who we are, the place where peace and love and equality and justice, it's just there. When you start living in here more and more and start disidentifying and disconnecting from the outer world, then there is a totally different world emerging. And it really is. That's not in my mind. It's something that I feel. How do I feel it? There is a push, a longing, an inspiration, a recognition that just feels like it aligns inside. And the more we start trusting that, the more we will say no to all the insanity that's going on. If our politicians and leaders and governments, if they really were connected to their own divinity, they wouldn't do the things they do. I mean, they are really like little kids, like, nah, 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 he said, she said. It's so ridiculous. And people still believe them and vote for them and maybe even worship them. And it doesn't make a difference if they're on this or that side or anything around or in between. It's all the same, guys. It's a circus. What we need is a whole new sense of leadership. And this leadership starts right in here. We're not going to start looking for somebody out there anymore. There might be people who are arising, and there are many people who are arising from within. And these people are not the ones going out there and trying, we need another war, we need this, no, no, no. It's a whole new way of being, and that way is not really here yet. For those of us who can feel, who resonate with what I'm sharing right now, we know there is something coming, but it's not really tangible yet. It is in small pockets here and there because many people, they're taking this energy and really taking it seriously and want to make it real. So they can start little groups, little ways of connecting with people, bringing their energy into new ways of being, maybe new inventions, maybe new ways of teaching kids at school or not in school, somewhere else, take them into nature. This is going to unfold in every single one of us. It already is. And it's not going to look like, oh, this is how we're going to do it. No, this is how I am going to do it, or this is how I am already doing it, depending where we are. For you, it's going to look like this. And for you, it's going to look like that. And then when we are in that energy of this emerging new earth, of the divine expression in a much higher frequency, then there will be people who resonate with that. And they go, oh my God, I felt that too. I've had this vision for so long and I have a dream about it. And here you are talking about it. I want to hang out with you some more. Let's talk. And then things can start blooming, they can start emerging. And then we do together. And that's why I've talked about also where I have my own little groups where we do this very consciously. We tune into the field and then we share what we experience. We get inspired by each other, and it gives us an energy to kind of trust more and follow more of this energy, because now it's growing and it feels more alive and more real. So when we all do that in our own way, we're not trying to be like them or do what they say. No, we're just going to start listening to what our inner says through feeling, through longing, through sensations, through images, dreams, who knows what. It comes with an energy that feels alive, where you go like, that's right. You just know. It's just there and you're just connecting with it. So in that way, this is how I see it. There will be little communities, and it could be a tiny community of 2 or 3 people in somebody's home where you just get together, you just tune in, and then you have these ideas and you say, you know what, let's go do this. It may just be simple, like, let's go and clean up this part of the beach tomorrow together. That's it. That's bringing it in. It's simple. It's not something like this huge thing that we are assigned to do. No, it might be, but if it is, then you will know. You'll get this like, uh-huh, that's it. That's it. And for me, I love doing these YouTubes. It just gives me joy and energy, and I learn so much from it. I feel I'm in this alignment and it's just coming through, and I share it. So I'm just little Pernilla who has, some followers. There are some of you who like to listen to my YouTubes regularly. So there is a field created there, and then you may get your own ideas just from listening here. It might spark something in you, and then you may take off and do your own thing. And maybe you'll dip in sometimes just to stay connected, or maybe you'll stay connected for a while. This is how it works. It's kind of like a wildfire, but it's a good wildfire. It's a wildfire. It spreads the love and the wisdom and the energy and the joy. This is real. This is real. And it is just as real in you as it is in me. It feels good. So if we want to create a new earth on earth, create a new way of being, it's not going to come through our leaders, our politicians. Please realize that. Just look at how they're dealing with things, and look how they're lying and ignoring and pretending not to know. And they have been creating this mess together for a long time. It's a circus. It's just a big act, trying to control us to keep giving away our energy. Let's stop that now. Let's start listening to what feels much more true inside. If you can just unhook from this belief that, the government is here to help us, the government knows best, our leaders, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They don't. There might be some who do, of course, but they only know what they do. I mean, for the betterment of humanity and for the world, is when it comes from within and when they are connected, they are embodied. So let me just bring the the word embodied back, because I talked a lot about that lately. I don't know if you saw my presentation that I posted yesterday here about embodiment. If we are not embodied, it's because we have unresolved traumas and pains and beliefs that are still informing us and coloring everything we do. We are moving in the world through a lens that is very limited and contracted and painful. And we're trying to avoid it, and we try to create something good in the world because we don't want this. But we are creating it through this lens. Everything we do is colored and informed by this unresolved trauma, these unresolved emotions. And then we think, oh, let's go out there and it's their fault and let's create a war or whatever, or let's get another injection or whatever it is, all what everybody else is saying. And all the while inside, something in us knows that something is not right here. But because we still have these contractions where we believe others know better than us, and like, who am I to say, I'm not an expert in that arena. You are an expert in your own arena. You are an expert in your own experience. And when you are part of healing, dissolving, softening, these core wounds that we all carry, that we have created a more or less miserable life through, when we start dissolving it and softening it, then we liberate the energy, and then it's free to become what it already is in this dimension. I was hesitant to use the word create because creation is already whole. It's already here. It's up to us to start tuning into it and dissolving all the lenses and the layers that have been protecting us somehow, or been misguiding us, or have been misinformed based on things that happened previously, whenever that was, where we were in a situation that was probably challenging or horrendous, and we had to contract around it. And then ever since that contraction, and we have many parts that are contracted, then everything we do, the energy, the divine energy has to move through this, but it can't. It's going to be, all crinkled and wrinkled up and weird. So it's not coming out pure. So we really need to take this seriously. And when more of us do this, and that's what I'm so passionate about, that's why I'm doing this. I want to inspire us all to take this seriously. And then more of us do this, then we start creating little spots all over the world where we are leaders of our own life, of our own community, of our own gatherings together, and we tune in and we do it together. It's not like, oh, there's only one who knows and we better trust that person. That's the old paradigm. That is unembodied or disembodied leadership. So if you just take a look at the leaders, you can see how unintegrated they are, how fragmented they are, how fake they are, how how disconnected they are to reality inside. You know, are they taking time to listen inside before they go out to these big meetings and making these big decisions? Most of them are not. I'm not saying there are not some who do, because I know there are. Some of them have been killed, obviously. So it's still not really wanted in this world. But that shouldn't stop us. Let's do this in small groups, just with your neighbor, your friends, your family, or maybe you have a women's circle that I had the other day where we just together, we tune in, bring in, we share what we experience, what we get. And then there's an energy, we're bringing in the new paradigm together. And then we will not really tolerate the other anymore because it does not resonate with this. And I think you know that by now. But when we really make it clear and put words to what we're actually experiencing out there, then we go like, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm simply done with that. I'm going to do whatever I can to clear out my own stuff so I can be a pure instrument, because apparently those leaders are not doing that. And again, I'm not saying everybody. I know there are some who really do, and I appreciate that. We could use some of those as examples, but we're not going to put anybody up there who's like, I'm the leader. No, we are our own little leaders of our own divine expression. And it comes straight from the heart, straight from what we long for. And this is the time to do that. I feel very passionate about this. That's why I'm talking about it all the time. I hope you do too. And if you're kind of like, yeah, I am, but I don't know what to do about it, then please join me next week on Wednesday. I have a free webinar where we're going to talk about, it's called Awakening the Fearless Light Worker Within. If you don't connect with the word light worker, if you don't identify with that, then use whatever healer, shaman, teacher, spiritual messenger. It's all the same. We're all here to bring this in. Okay. So the link is in the description below. Please sign up and join me for that. And then after that, I will let you know what is available if you really want to take this seriously and make it your reality. So that's when we do it together. We are not lone wolves anymore. We're doing it together. We're moving into oneness more. And we start with being at one with ourselves by including the parts we have pushed away. And when we live more in oneness with ourselves, we naturally connect with others who are already doing that also, or who want to do that. And that's what I love to create, where there are little groups, communities where we really do this together. All right, my friends, lovely to be here with you. And I will see you again soon.